Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Talk the Talk, Triple T on your number one Afro-urban hit station, Waiting Day Radio. And you have your favorite host.
Yes, Mr. Serim, and your co-host,
the sophisticated articulator, guys. It is wonderful to have you back, Mr. Serim.
And you too. Finally, you're back.
Finally, I'm back in the crowd.
Finally, we get to sit together again.
You know,
it's
good to be in the same bubble with you, mate.
Definitely.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again. 7 p.m. GMT. Don't forget to tell a friend. We have somebody so amazing that we're going to have with us today. I'll let my host do all of that for you. But guys, don't forget to comment below. Put your comments underneath. Any questions, anything you need, put it underneath as the show goes on.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, today is going to be different.
It is.
It's going to be different.
I'm excited.
I'm excited myself because today we are going to be talking about leadership and performance.
Yeah, I'm excited because I believe I need grooming on leadership.
Do you?
Yeah, because I need to make the top class leadership, you know.
You sure?
I need to.
Okay.
I need to.
Our guest we're bringing on, this guy is amazing when it comes to leadership, once it comes to performance, goal setting. On a world-class level, guys. Yes.
This is not your mediocre, just your Mr. Serim and sophisticated
articulator. Okay, guys. Without further ado, he's a world-class performance coach and an author. He has directly coached and trained over 1,000 executives across Sub-Saharan Africa, UAE, and definitely the United States of America. This guy has traveled across the world.
It's world class.
Yes. And he doesn't just coach them, he trains them both on their career, relationships, and even to be like champions, just like his name. Ladies and gentlemen, it's no other person but the sensational, wonderful Abiola Champ. Woo! Woo!
Oh, thank you. Hey guys, good to be here with you this evening.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Welcome to Talk the Talk on Waiting Day Radio.
Yes. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I like the way the sophisticated articulator, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Waiting day. Now, waiting day is an African word, right? But he articulates it with sophistication in a way that.
That's the first nugget after that, guys.
Yeah. You know, we can't just wait to have you here.
Definitely.
Abiola Champ. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege. I know it's been quite a time we've been trying to get you on, and you've been quite busy traveling around the world, doing the things you know how to do best.
Definitely.
But now we want to give that to our audience exclusive on Talk the Talk.
Yeah, on Triple T, guys. Yes. We have exclusivity every week. Well, and we have him.
Yeah, we have him. Well, Abiola Champ, just going straight in. Obviously, we know the situation we're in at the moment. We're going through quite a pandemic situation, and things have changed. The new normal is different. What we call the new normal is different. Things have evolved, and people have evolved with what has changed as well. So I want to ask you, how have you adapted to this current pandemic situation yourself?
You know, that's a great question. And again, thank you very much for having me this evening. So great to be with you guys. How I have adapted. You know, there's one of my guiding quotes is by a gentleman with the name Winston Churchill, who said that we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. He said we make a living by what we get, the money we earn, the accolades we earn, but we make a life by what we give. And in the beginning of the pandemic, I just realized that the way for me to adapt to this pandemic is by giving. In the very beginning of the pandemic, you know, when we were not sure, there was little or not much information about the character of the virus, you know, about coronavirus. People had different kinds of things they were saying about the virus. Some say, oh, you hug anybody anywhere that you have. You know, some say if you take your bath 2 times a day, you may get the virus. You know, I mean, there were different kinds of things people were saying all around. And for some people, they said, oh, if you see any white man, make sure you don't talk to him because you may get the virus. And some people even said that the virus came from Asia. All of those different kinds of things, that people were saying in the beginning, started getting a lot of people into panic mode, started making a lot of people becoming anxious, and so what we decided to do as a team in the Champ organization is we started by putting together a media kit, right, on something on how to handle panic in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic.
Okay.
All right.
So we used social media to push that. That went to over 1 million people. Right, that went to 1 million people. Now, some of my team members are listening to the introduction when you said something about 10,000. Something about 10,000 champions and all of that. They would say, no, please, our work is more than that. That was more than that. And using the social media, especially, we've reached out to over 10 million people, right? In with the work that we're doing. So that particular campaign went to over 1 million people, right, who interacted with it, and a couple of them, sending us responses, thanking us for even putting something like that up. Of course, I mean, weeks later, months later, a couple of other sources, got the content we put together, they put it on their own platforms. But it's always great. It's always great to it's just about always giving. And it was great to give people that kind of comfort, that kind of guidance at the very beginning when a lot of people were in panic mode, when a lot of people were angry. And we didn't stop at that. Another way we that I coped and my team coped as well, we released a free ebook, on how to enjoy sound mental and emotional health in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic, because there was anxiety, right? And then anxiety because there was little or no information, about the virus. Then we moved into lockdown, right, which was not reality. So how people can still manage their mental and emotional health during the lockdown, and that went to hundreds of other people as well, and then a couple of other programs implemented in the course of.
That's so amazing, guys. You can already see that we have so much to unpack. We've just started, and he's already telling us how much he's done to save panic, to help people who were in the pandemic. And remember, he's doing all of this just because the champs are doing this so that they can give love and give help to whoever needs it when they need it. But I have a big question for you. What actually motivates you to do everything that you do? So if you looked at your whole career and where it started, what motivates you?
Okay, somebody said that the best way to predict the future is to create it, right? The best way to predict the future is to create it. And how do you create the future? It's from where you are right now. You think about 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time, and then that's to work from where you are. And so what motivates me is just the joy that tomorrow will be better. And not just that tomorrow will be better by confessions or just by mere belief. It is about commitment and getting out there to work, to rolling my sleeves to work. And when I talk about work, it is directly proportional to excellence, right? So excellence is the thing that motivates me. So, and that, yes, I want to do something that everybody has done before, but I want to do it differently. Not necessarily because I want anybody to clap for me that, this is different, but because I want to feel that what I'm doing, I'm not just reinventing a wheel, but I'm building something better. I am creating, so whether it's a coaching session, right? The coaching session has a touch of excellence to it. Whether it's a training session, it has a touch of excellence to it. Whether it's on my social media pages, whether it's Instagram, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, by the way, it's at Abiola Champ for all of them, right? There is excellence in it. Whether it's the fact that it's a free book, that we said we release for the how to enjoy sound, emotional, and mental health in the wake of COVID. I mean, it was well designed, well packaged with pictures, with things that you can do. I mean, people don't like reading, right?
Yeah. But that's very true.
That's very true.
I'm one of them.
But you design the book in a way that that they just want to read it. They just want to consume it. Whether it's ebook, whether it's hard copy book, it's just excellence all round. Whether it's whatever it is, having a conversation, dressing, for example. Make sure that the tie is good. This late at night we're doing this, but we need to do this for the people, right? Just dress the part, just look the part. So it's excellence, the driving force. I detest mediocrity in all forms and sizes. Whether it's in the way we communicate, is in mannerism, is in thinking, is in the way we pursue whatever it is that we're pursuing. There has to be excellence. Excellence.
That's what motivates you is excellence.
Yes. So talking about excellence, and you've actually pointed something very, very key in terms of looking at leadership. Mm-hmm. So in terms of excellence, how do you say, how does a leader or leadership style of an entrepreneur actually affect their performance in their business? So we're talking about excellence. I know excellence is one of them, but how do you think, or how do you say this can affect their business?
You see, a gentleman with the name John Maxwell, this time, he wrote a book many years ago in the 90s, and I happened to read the book just about a year or so after the book came out. The title of the book is 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And the first law of leadership, he said that leadership is the lead, like the cover, L-I-D, like a cover, right? The explanation and my understanding of leadership is that the leader, the person in a position, determines the energy in the organization or in the team. The person in the position doesn't only determine the energy in the team. The person determines the energy in the team. The person determines the direction that people will go in the team. Because the commitment quotient of leadership is directly proportional to the result leadership will get. The commitment quotient of leadership. So a leader.
Could you bring that back? Wait. Could you bring that back? You said the proportion of leadership.
Articulated.
You were explaining that the proportion of how the leader inputs in his business.
Okay.
It will correlate with the performance.
I was saying that the commitment quotient of leadership. Commitment quotient of leadership is directly proportional to the result of the business. The commitment quotient of leadership, right? So this is Waiting Day Radio. Waiting Day Radio says, for example, that we're an excellent station, right? That excellence is not just about the presenters. That excellence should come from the very top, right? So it should be seen that the leader who is tasking everybody on excellence should be an excellent person. So if you say that people should speak in a particular way, the leader should be the first, to be speaking that. If you say people should dress in a particular way, the leader should be the first to dress that way. If you say that people should clock in by 8 a.m., right, the leader should be the first, to be around even before that 8 a.m. And I give you an example, right? One of the places I worked before starting Champ full-time, I worked in a bank. In the bank that I worked, if my MD at that time, my managing director at that time, if it says that we should attend a meeting for 6 a.m., right? If he says we should attend a meeting for 6 a.m., however early you arrive at that meeting venue, you will always meet him there.
Oh.
Wow. You will always meet him at the meeting. He will not also be the first to leave the meeting, whichever time that meeting ends, right? That is leadership. Of course, many people will say, oh, why? How come? It's just too much. What kind of work ethic, what kind of slave driver is this? And hey, while people were saying slave driver, I was looking at someone that is leading by example, which is why a lot of people will dream and desire to be excellent, to be great, but not everybody would be. A lot of people are praying and hoping. In fact, if you like, fast and pray for 45 days or fast and pray throughout the year. Fast and pray for throughout the year. It is not just about the fasting and praying that you're doing. It's about your commitment quotient to whatever the task at hand is. So, again, the commitment quotient of leadership is directly proportional to its result in terms of the competence of the leader. So
that's a nugget. Sorry to cut you short. That's why she was screaming, was because on Waiting Day Radio, we do nuggets. So when we get any guest in here and they say something very, very key,
we are supposed to write it down in our notebook.
And we know that that's a nugget for our audience as well.
Yes, so it's now part of our dictionary.
Yeah, that's how we learn. That's how we evolve. You so continue. Carry on.
So I was saying that the commitment quotient of leadership is directly proportional to its result in terms of one, competence, which is the leader, right, should be competent, should have the necessary skills, right, the skill set in order to drive results in the organization. Secondly, character.
Sorry, before you continue, so would you say this is part of the structure for best performance?
Yes. Okay. Because the structure for performance is not about the structure of a business. It's not about the buildings. It's not about the technology. It's not about the assets of the organization. Okay. An organization really is about the people, and the people is about the attitudes of the people. It's about the knowledge, the skills, and the attitude of the people. That is the real core asset. So when we talk about the structure for performance, I'm not necessarily looking at it in terms of hierarchical structure. I'm looking at it in terms of the knowledge, skill, and attitude structure of the individuals in the organization, starting with the leader in that organization and the other leaders in the organization. In fact, the best of leaders are not the ones that are leading followers. The best of leaders are the ones that are grooming other leaders. The best of leaders are those who are grooming other leaders using the task at hand as the dojo, the way they would call it back in the day, using the task at hand as the instrument to build people, to groom people, which is why the work that we do, you see, what we gain from the work that we do, if all we look at from the work that we do is the income that we are earning, I dare say that we're of all human beings most miserable. But the biggest thing we get from the work that we do is who we become by the way we are doing the work. What we get from what we do, it is less of the income, it is less of the promotion, it is less of the perks, it is less of the fame. It is more about who we are becoming by the way we apply ourselves to that work.
Definitely.
Right? The way we apply ourselves to that work. So when we talk about leadership style, and how it affects performance, leadership style and how it affects performance is about the leader understanding that my commitment quotient to the task at hand will determine the result. And I need to build competence, right? I need to show character, right? Character is that I'm not just saying it, I am doing it. I'm not just saying that, guys, listen to what I'm saying and do as I say. I'm doing it. I mean, children, all of us, when we were children, we paid less attention to what our parents were saying.
That's true. That's true. We didn't listen.
We didn't
listen. If you say I shouldn't turn left, I won't listen to you. If you turn left, I will turn with you. Right? Yeah. And not that as a child. I mean, the child, not like the child has that willpower and the child wants to be stubborn. The child is just looking at what they're teaching, because it is said that a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. One picture. So when I see what you do, then I can easily emulate it. So it's important for leadership, to understand the place of competence development, the place of character development, which is key. And the final thing I want to say about that is on courage, right? Some people think that courage is just about daring. Some people think that courage is just about daring some humongous things. Courage is needed to dare fearful things. Courage is also needed to dare some other fearful things, but that are inside. It takes courage to be vulnerable.
That's true.
That's the big one. That is so true.
Yeah.
I strongly agree with that. It takes courage to be vulnerable. That's a lot. I definitely agree with that, because I think when you are being vulnerable with something, or your business, or how to develop, or becoming, like you're correctly saying, you have to show your weaknesses to build on them so that they become developed.
Yes.
But that takes courage. Yeah. Definitely.
Not everyone can come out and be honest about it as well, because most people,
almost every leader will want to say, I know it all, I got it all. Right? And also, it takes courage to be humble.
Oh. Are you humble, Mr. Sarah?
I'm a very humble guy.
Yeah, we're humble on Triple T, guys.
We're very humble.
We're humble. We are humble on Triple T, and we are humbled to have Mr. Abiola
tonight.
We are, honestly.
On that note,
guys,
you've just thrilled us. You've wowed us. But I want to ask you a question. What will make you say no to a potential booking on all this? Because I know you've spoken about leadership, spoken about excellence. There must be something that's key for you.
So if we've come with a competence, the character, and the humility and everything that we're supposed to, what would make you say no?
Okay, so it is about purpose differential. Purpose differential. It is said that when purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Okay. Right. So this interaction we're having this evening, if I think that our purpose is divergent, right, I will not show up, right? Yeah. If what you're about as a station, right, is different from what I am about, I will not show up. Even for a client, and maybe they have some big money they want to pay, and the reason they're probably putting this together is to appeal to some other people for a show, just to show them that hey, we're engaging a world-class performance coach, to share this with us. I will turn it down, and this is the reason I will turn it down. While money is great, and I love money, I like money. While money is great, for me, what I want to always get from an interaction is not just the money, because there's always the opportunity to make money. What I want to get for an interaction is I want to be able to tell myself that with this interaction, I delivered something. Because I prepared before showing up. And while I'm preparing, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about how best can I communicate this to you, right? Okay. I'm thinking about how best can I get this thought through to you? How best can you wrap the thought? How best can you now take it and apply it into your life, for you to become better? Because all I'm about is helping people to know better so they can think better and they can do better, right?
Definitely.
So for me, if all I'm taking out of it is the money, I don't feel I've done anything, right? But if I've done something and I'm taking money as a reward, as part of my reward, not my only reward, as part of my reward, then that is a sense of fulfillment for me. And that was something I think I missed a few minutes ago. You mentioned something about structure while I was discussing leadership style.
Yeah.
I was actually discussing leadership style, but you mentioned something about structure, and I just realized that I might have skipped it, right? Speaking of the most effective structure for best performance, right? Yes. Now, for a leader, for any organization, there are three critical things, in fact, if not four, critical things about this structure. The first thing is vision. Right? So I believe that vision is the pathway of leadership. Vision talks about, a picture of a better tomorrow. Earlier I was talking about the best way to predict the future is to create it. And you create it with a vision that you say that in 5 years' time, we want to be in this place. In 10 years' time, we want to be in this place. Now, having known that in mind, then based on the vision, right, the leader sets goals in order to achieve that vision. Set goals in order to achieve that vision. Definitely. So the goal will give direction to leadership. Now, setting goals is not the end of it. Communication is key. I believe that communication is the language of leadership. Communication is where you bring together the team, where you share the vision with them, where you share the goals with them. Now, there's a team that actually worked on the vision. There's a bigger team to implement the vision, right? Yes. So at every point in time, communication is key to clearly communicate to the team. And by the way, one of the biggest things I like about communication is the fact that when God created us, for all of us that believe that we were created and molded by God, when God created us, He gave us one mouth, only one mouth. I think there's something God was thinking of when He gave us one mouth. And then He gave us 2 ears and one mouth. So for me, I'm thinking that the reason I was created that way is so that I can listen more and speak less. Communication. Because communication is not just about talking. Communication begins with listening and thinking and then speaking or not speaking, because you don't have to speak in communication, right? You don't have to speak in communication. You don't have to speak for somebody to get what you're trying to say. So it is listening, thinking, and then speaking. So the leader has the responsibility. We're discussing leadership and performance. The leader needs to know that communication to the leader is not just about talk. Communication to the leader also has to do with listening to what the team is saying. In fact, it is when I listen to you clearly. Imagine that we started this show, and the moment I just got on the show, that I started talking, hey people, yes, I'm here. And then I just I just kept on talking, and then you asked me a question, and after asking the question, because I was not listening to you, you asked me that what I should define A. Then I said, oh, B is fantastic. And then I went to B, C, blah, 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 all the way. Yes, I will be talking, but I won't be making sense. And a lot of organizations, the reason they have performance issues is because leadership is not listening to the people on the field. Leadership thinks that they know it and then they are pursuing it. So there's vision, right? There's goal, there's communication, and then there is competence. I know I've talked about competence before, but I want to break it down a little bit. When you talk about competence in an organization, 3 things are involved. Whether it's a business organization, whether it's in politics, whether it's in for members of the House of Parliament, wherever people are, wherever leadership and performance is involved, 3 things are involved. One is knowledge, having cutting-edge knowledge, that you are not using an analog knowledge to solve digital problems, right? Okay. You are not using 1864 knowledge, right, to solve 2021 problems. Now, you can use the wisdom of 1854, but not the knowledge of 1854. Wisdom is more about principles. Principles are more enduring, right? Okay. But practices change from time to time. You know, today they will say, oh, there's improvement in technology. Or now they say, oh, it's the time for technology. It is not true. Anybody that says 2021 is the time for technology is absolutely lying. The person is oblivious of the past. Do you know why? Because technology keeps advancing. Because some 100 years ago, there was some new technology some people discovered that they used to live life, to do business as at that point in time. Fast forward to another 50 years ago, the technology improved. So it is always about technology improvement.
Yes,
it's just about that improvement, right? But many times people get it wrong, and then they will just say, oh, it is tech. It's tech time. Because in another 25, 50 years, what we call it technology will be completely different.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You can see, guys, Abiola Champ has a lot to offload to us, but
yes, we do.
We've got limited time, but we're going to come back.
We will be back.
We will take a short break, and we'll be back for the second segment, where we have loads and loads and loads of questions for him, and I know he's willing and he's ready to offload to us.
Guys, stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly. And we are back. We're back, guys. We've had a sensational 20 minutes prior with Mr. Abiola Champ. If you guys missed, listen, we are going to play it back on our YouTube channel, Triple T, which is coming out soon. But just to give you guys a few nuggets before we ask him a few more questions, we came here, we spoke about excellence, that a leader should be excellent within themselves.
In all ramifications.
Right?
Yes.
I got the 3 C's. Guys, I told you, I've got my notebook ready going. I'm here. Okay. So we spoke about competence.
Yes.
We were told about character.
Yes.
We were told about courage.
Yes, and being humble as well.
Being humble within your courage. We also spoke about knowledge, wisdom, becoming. These are just words that I'm throwing out there, but there's so much content that came from behind them that if I start giving you what I've learned so far, we'll be here for another night.
I know.
We'll be here for another night.
And we're going in.
We're going in very, very deep. So as we go into the next segment, we'd like to welcome back Mr. Abiola Champ, and we'd like to ask you, Mr. Abiola Champ, what sets you apart as a world-class performance coach?
Okay, so I think that any business that has been in existence for a while, one of the easiest ways the business to know what sets it apart is know what the business says it wants to do or what the business says it is doing. It is what the customer says that the business is doing that the business is doing.
Okay.
It is not what
the business is doing that the business is doing.
That is what the business is doing. So whether it's a regular for profit-making business, or it's a not-for-profit organization, or even if it's a government, right? From time to time, governments use the media, to lie to all of us. Different governments in different parts of the world, they use the media to lie to all of us, propaganda. But many times we know that they are just lying because we know what is being done. I mean, somebody cannot say that they approved XYZ budget to solve 1, 2, 3 problem, but you know that the problem is still in existence. So the fact that the problem is still in existence, it shows the government is not working. It does not matter how much money they spend, to try to convince everybody that there's no problem where there's a problem. So to answer the question, it is about feedback. And I believe that feedback is the breakfast of champions. And I believe that the best way to talk about how I am different, from any other person is based on people who have tasted and tested the service, and when they compare it to others, so what are they saying? So I won't be sharing my opinion with you for this question. I'll be sharing what I have heard, with you, because I may think that I am bad, and some people think that I am good. I may think that I am good, but some people think now it's not just because it's their opinion, but because they are the ones enjoying the service, right?
Correct.
Enjoying the service. So what are the things I've heard over time? I've heard something like excellent communication skills. And when they're explaining communication skills, they're not talking about how articulate I am, right? And that's not to throw shade. That's not to throw shade. Right?
It's okay. It's fine.
They're not just talking, maybe the balances. They're not just talking about how articulate I am. They're talking about the fact that I use this more in engaging with them. And you see, whether it's in a training session or a coaching session or a counseling session, anytime you're working with helping to activate human potential, because that is what this is all about, right? Anytime you're working to activate human potential, what you want to do first is to always seek to understand before you are understood. And that's what empathy is. Empathy says seek first to understand before you are understood. So they talk a lot about empathy, the fact that there is empathy. And they also always add this adjective to that empathy. They say it is genuine empathy. That's what they've said over time, because they know that I'm not just there, for the money. I am there, yes, for the money, but it's not just about the money. Right. It's not just about the money. It's the fact that you are rendering a service and you want to see that the problem is solved and you want to see that value is delivered. That is one thing. The other thing they've commented a lot is about emotional intelligence, right? That there is a high degree of emotional intelligence that I always use to create an atmosphere that even the most negative person, right, will find a way to blend in, that the most timid person will find courage to be a part of the process, right? That the most aggressive person, will find a way to even still calm down, right, to be part of the process. I mean, these are things I've heard over time. People also talk about the depth. Another thing, they talk about the depth of knowledge and the simplicity of delivery. The depth of knowledge and the simplicity of delivery. That sounds like controversial, kind of. Most people think that depth of knowledge, the way to show depth of knowledge is to show, is to always speak deep and always speak above people's head, and such that all they will be saying is wow. But if you ask them, what did you just hear? Right, they're unable to repeat that.
No, sorry, didn't get that.
And it's not just about repeating it. Also, people will say 12 months, 2 years, 3 years afterwards, they will say that, I heard you in class the other day, or I heard you at the coaching session the other day, and you said XYZ. And there are many times I will want to behave contrary, and then I'll still hear your voice and be wondering, so Abiola Champ hears this now, that this is what I'm about to do, right? He will be disappointed. So I don't want him to be disappointed, and I will do the right thing. You see, because I always believe that none of us is smart. Not me, not you, not anybody, not Einstein. None of us is smart. Every one of us, we are as smart as the influences we submit ourselves to. We are all as smart as the influences we submit ourselves to, which is why it's equally important that we pay attention to who and what is influencing us. We are always under influence. Always under influence.
That's fact.
We're always under influence. No matter how courageous you are, no matter how disciplined you think you are, We're always under influence, right? People are influencing us. The media is influencing us. The books we read are influencing us. Our friends are influencing us. Our lovers are influencing us. Our children are influencing us. There's influence all around us. And so it's important we pay attention to who and what is influencing us.
That's key, because obviously as a leader, you want to be influenced by the right people. You want to associate with the right people. You want to influence others in the right way as a leader, so that they can follow suit and they can actually say, this person is my role model. This is what I'm doing. This is the trend, or this is the standard he has set for us, and then this is what we have to follow. Talking about that, what do you think is the biggest obstruction of performance?
Now you're asking me some really great questions this evening. You're going deeper. As promised, the biggest obstruction to performance.
Yes.
Let me talk about the biggest accelerator and the biggest obstruction.
Okay.
The biggest accelerator to performance is failure.
Failure.
The biggest accelerator to peak performance.
Yes.
The biggest accelerator to peak performance is failure.
Wow.
Really?
And the biggest obstruction to peak performance is yesterday's success.
Wow.
Do you know what?
You would imagine like the opposite.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
And tell us why. Tell us why.
And this is why. The reason the biggest accelerator to peak performance is failure is because when people are not succeeding yet, most times, right, they try again, right? They level up in their courage. They look for other people to consult. They ask questions. They go all the way, right, to make sure that they get it right. So you find someone who is seeking, someone who wants to make a mark, who wants to make a name, right? Who wants to win a Grammy, someone who wants to win an award, someone who wants to win a competition, right? The person is doing his or her best, learning, going to the gym, right? Discipline, doing a lot of things, spending money, doing all of that, making sacrifices. Somebody said that the price of greatness is sacrifice, making the sacrifice to become great. And then the person now becomes great. Now, the person fails, the person bounces back again. The person fails, the person bounces back again. The motivation for bouncing back is that I will succeed one day. I will make it one day. I will hit it one day. So the person is doing, in colloquial parlance around here, we say the person is hustling, right? So the person is pushing and pushing and pushing. And then the person succeeds. Now, when the person succeeds, it is difficult to advise successful people.
Wow.
It is difficult
to advise successful
people. It is difficult to advise rich people.
Why is that? Is it because of knowledge, or because of what they've attained, or what is it?
Because as far as they are concerned, they have reached a particular height. They have made it. And because they have made it, they think erroneously. They think that it is because they were so smart that got them there. They forgot that they learned a few things to get to the place. They forgot that it is learning that took them there, right? And they forget that it's the same learning that will sustain where they are, right? So it is difficult. See, 3 kinds of people that is difficult to advise: a rich person,
okay,
right? A famous person,
yes,
and a person in love.
No, really?
You didn't get the third one.
No.
The third one. We get the third one.
Bring it back, please. Bring it back, please.
That one is going to shock our audience. Tell them.
A rich person.
Yeah.
Has a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
A successful person. Now I'm separating success from riches. In terms of the person is famous, everybody's running around to help the person. Then somebody that's in love.
Someone in love.
It is difficult to recommend any progress to these 3 categories of people.
So if we're in love now, it's going to be very difficult to listen to Abiola Champ. That's what he's saying.
Well, we spoke about having my wedding in pandemic, but obviously it was just a wedding with me. But obviously, if you're in love, then it's hard to tell you because you're within your emotions and you can't you can't apply the emotional intelligence when you're in your emotions, right?
Yes.
That's the point. That's exactly the point. So, I mean, they will tell you that, hey, that boy is the wrong guy. I said, no. I mean, they'll tell you that, girl. They'll tell you that everybody can see. You know what? Everybody can see that this guy you're following is not the guy you should follow. Everybody will see that this girl that you're going all around with is not the girl you should be with, but only you. You're so convinced. You think you're making a rational decision, right? And only you would, and of course, the smartest way to go about dealing with people like that, don't comment on the love affair. Just say, yeah, good to go.
So in terms of emotional intelligence, what is the key then? What would you, if there was like a bucket full of emotional intelligence, like so many nuggets that we could pick, what would you say is the main key of emotional intelligence? And also, have you applied it in your own personal life?
Great. The bottom line of emotional intelligence is self-control.
Okay.
It's that you are angry, but you still have self-control.
Okay.
Right? It's that you are in love, but you still have self-control. Is that you are anxious, you still have self-control.
You have self-control. Okay.
Is that there's depression looming, but you still have control. You are sad about a particular situation. Yes, you are sad about it, but you still have control. Because what happens is that the emotions degenerate, negative emotions degenerate, right? So you start with sadness. You're not happy about a particular occurrence. You wallow in the murky waters of that sadness for a while. It degenerates into depression. Right? Yeah. And then it may even start having physiological effects on the individual. The person may go into stroke mode, and then the person cannot eat again, and then it changes the entire system of the entire biological system, of the individual. Right? And it's not only negative emotions that needs to be managed properly, even positive emotions as well. Right? So you are confident, but you are still under control. Because you see, the thing with humility, pride, and confidence. Humility, pride, and confidence, right? Some people think that humility is the same thing as timidity, but no. For humility, you are confident, but you are under control. You are confident and you are not necessarily carrying your shoulder, right? You even realize that for some people who are proud, the reason they are proud is because they are timid. So they use pride as a cover-up for their timidity. So you think the person is confident, but it is not confident. Because the thing about confidence is that confidence doesn't announce itself. I don't tell you that, I'm a confident man. No, you see confidence show. You don't announce that, I'm a confident woman. No, confidence will show. I mean, somebody will say, the reason I got out of that relationship is because he doesn't know how to deal with a confident woman. No, confidence doesn't announce itself, right? Confidence doesn't announce itself. Confidence shows. Definitely. Confidence is humble at the same time, but ego is pride. Confidence is humble at the same time. So it's confidence plus humility. So the way to deal with these emotions is you feel it, but you can control it. You feel it, you can control it. Elementary biology taught us about irritability. And in irritability, they said to us that once there is a stimulus, there's a response. Once anything comes, once something pinches you, once you put your hand inside, once you touch some hot surface, right? Yeah. Immediately you take off your hand. That's what elementary biology told us. But if we leave this on elementary biology, we won't be different from animals. And that is why some people who say that humans are animals or higher animals, well, for them, because there's something we have that animals don't have. It is called willpower, right? Yeah. So willpower, psychology tells us that, yes, although biology has said between stimulus and response, that there's nothing that immediately you have the stimulus, then you respond. But psychology tells us that between stimulus and response, there is something in between, which is the power to choose. Which is why if I insult you right now, right, what some people's default mode is that they immediately insult the person back. That is acting like a biological being, right? Yeah. The psychological being is that when I insult you, you have the power to choose whether to respond with an insult, to respond with kindness, or to just keep quiet. Yeah. And you see, there are times the fact that you are quiet in a situation it's not because you don't know what to say. It's just because you're the more mature person. It's not because you are boiling. It's just because you understand that, you know what, I can't engage in this conversation with this person. Because you understand that the way this person is throwing out his or her emotions everywhere, you know, you don't want like a pig to drag you into its mud. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Definitely. Definitely.
Because you don't want that, right? You stay in control. Of course, some other people will say, no, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not the kind of, if you give me one, I'll give you 10.
Well, talking about that, Abiola Cham, you've actually explained a lot.
I know. I've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot. And if I was to drop everything I wanted to do now, just drop everything and say, you know what? I want to make so much money. I want to do what you do. I want to be like you. I want to venture into the world of coaching and performance coaching. What would you advise me to do? How would I start? If I was a younger version of yourself, what would you advise me to do?
Okay, so the first thing I would say you should do is go for training, right?
Okay.
Just go for training, and I will tell you to be open to knowledge, because you see, coaching is one intervention.
Okay.
There is coaching, there is consulting, there is therapy.
Yeah.
There is motivational speaking.
Yeah. There
is training, right?
Okay.
The number of interventions, right, to drive performance. But a lot of people, you know, some people will criticize motivational speakers and say, no, they just talk and talk and talk and talk. In fact, some people will make fun and say it's just about reading quotes, and so far you've read the quotes, then come and share the quotes with people. But you see, in all of this, the goal, whether it's motivational speaking, it is consulting, it is counseling, it is coaching, the goal in all of this is they're trying to unleash human potential, right?
Yeah.
And there are different ways, there are different tools you can use to unleash human potential. There are times I could serve as your motivational speaker. There are times I could serve as a performance coach. There are times I could even serve as a life coach, not just performance coach, right? There are times I could serve as a counselor. You know, there are times I could serve as a trainer. So, but for me, because I've developed these skills all around, so when I'm engaging with you, you may see all of them coming in at different points in time.
Yeah.
Depending on what the client needs. Now, it is not about the fame. Another thing is, it's not about your fame. The spotlight is not on you. The spotlight is on your client. And what determines what you do is the client. And you don't just do things because you want to do it. You don't just impose yourself. You assert yourself, but not impose yourself. Assertive communication is you are humble and confident at the same time, right? Imposing yourself is ego, right? So it is always about the service to that customer. It's always about making that client not just happy because of this kind of work. The work is not just to make the customer happy, but to help the customer to achieve the goal of that customer.
That's amazing. To help the customer achieve the goal of that customer. That is always key. And that's when you know you've made the impact. That's when you know you've actually passed on that message, that knowledge, you've shared that, you've created that scenery, that difference in that person's life.
Me evolving to create me.
That's it.
That he's literally speaking. I think he's drawn out. We learned last week before last.
Yes.
From a very inspiring Miss Lady called Rita, and she was explaining that if you within yourself, you have to create the best in yourself, and you have to go and impact your environment to be mini yous, in the sense where you're giving the best of yourself to everything and anything that you do. And that's exactly what I'm saying, that if I give the best to my client, or you know, who I'm speaking to, or my friends, or whoever it may be, you know, that means we'll get the best from them.
So Abiola Cham, what is next from Abiola Cham? What is next for Abiola Cham?
Okay, so there are two great things happening this period. The first great thing is my new book titled The Magic of Emotional Intelligence.
Yes!
Amazing.
It's on the purchase, guys. Get that book.
Go on.
Yes. You know, so it's available audiobook version for those who say, you know what, I can't read the book, I prefer to listen. It's available on audiobook version. It's available on ebook version for those who say, you know what, I'm not old school. I don't like to carry printed books. It's available as ebook. And then for those who still want to hold the book and read the book as well, that will be available in about a month, right? So the next question will now be, so how do we get the book, right? So if you go on my Instagram handle, it is at Abiola Champ, and you check my profile, my bio on it, you see the link tree, the link on where to get, whether you want the audio version, it is there. Whether you want the ebook version, the way they will say around here, it did here. Whether you want the audio version, it did here. Whether you want the print version as well, it did here. So the magic of emotional intelligence, it's a big thing, and that was why when you ask the question, about the buckets and emotions and what do you do, just immediately you're touching another core, and I told you it's about control. And the great thing about that book is that it analyzes top 10 negative emotions: anger, sadness, depression, fear, and a lot of them, and how to manage them, right? It also highlights some 10 positive emotions and how to cultivate and manage them. Many people think that you should only when they say manage your emotions, they're talking about manage a negative thing. No, but you also need to equally manage a positive thing, right? Accurately. So you cultivate it and you manage it. And how to apply emotional intelligence, in relationship is right there. Romantic relationship among siblings is right there. For customer service that I've talked about over and over again, it is there. How to manage your colleagues with emotional intelligence is right there as well in the book. So that's one big thing that is going on right now. And the second one Yes, the second one is we have a mentorship program, a 6-month mentorship program, starting from February to August, and it's virtual. So everybody across the globe, you can just connect with us. You can just connect with us. And this is coming. Last year, I won an award as Africa's Coaching Leader Award, right? And
I was coming to that because people need to know.
They do.
They need to know.
This is exclusive
on Talk the Talk.
Guys, the sophisticated articulate is quiet and listening, guys. That's where you know that we have a big stuff.
Yes. So go on, tell us.
Please do continue.
Thank you guys. So I won that award. And I was thinking after the award that, we need to what awards do, I think, what awards do to some people is it's that you will know that you have a bigger responsibility on your hands right now, because somebody said that the reward for a great job is another great job, right? So that you have more responsibilities in your hand, to continue to help people, to continue to push the envelope, to continue to do more. Remember, we talked about excellence the other time. It's about taking it to another level again and again. And of course, prior to that time, a lot of people have been asking that, we enjoy the things we see online, right? We enjoy everything. We enjoy the classroom sessions. Can you put us in a mentoring session? And it's interesting to note that the kind of people that we designed this for, and those who are already signing up, you have senior executives there, you have mid-level executives there, you don't have junior executives there. Of course, they have different programs they will be running, right? But I'm saying that it cuts across. So whoever you are, as you are watching this or you are listening to this, make sure you sign up. And it's the same place to sign up. Just go to that Instagram handle on the bio. You will see it is called Made for More Champions. So the mentoring program is called Made for More Champions, and it's just be a pleasure, to serve you. I was designing the curriculum for it the other day, and I was just super excited that, wow, these are the things people will be getting over the next 6 months, and the transformation that they will experience as well, in their business, in their careers, and in their relationships.
Okay, so it cuts across everything, across all stratas. So regardless where you're coming from, business-wise, your relationships, whatever you want to learn, mentorship and everything is all in there, guys. It's all there. And this is quite interesting, Abiola Champ. You've actually done a lot for Sub-Saharan Africa. We're proud of you as Africans because we promote Black excellence.
We do.
This our studio here, Talk the Talk on Waiting Day Radio. We promote Black excellence. We promote people that are actually making their name out there, putting us on the map and saying, you know what, we can do it.
This is what we're doing.
And this is who we are. Because it's very important to know who we are. Because if you don't know who you are, you lose your identity.
You lose it.
You lose what you stand for. So on that note, guys, it's been a pleasure having one of the most influential world-class
performance coach. He's an author. Guys, I have been blessed with so much knowledge today. I am like gonna sit back, go back over my notes, and literally like digest with. I think it's so amazing that he spoke about simplicity of deliverance, and it was so simple, but you're just like, hit me back with that again. You know, just like the simplicity of courage. To be courageous, you have to be humble. You're like, wait. Those two shouldn't really
match.
No.
Now you understand why they match.
No. And then I'm going to fail because I'm, banking on yesterday's success. And I think if I'm being completely honest, I'm probably someone who's done that. I've probably, derailed myself, and it's been an obstacle because I've held on to yesterday's success. And that's something that I'm like, oh, I can see where I've done that.
Yes.
Improvements.
And actually that was quite good because for me what I picked out from this was all about excellence, and it showed through from the beginning to the end. You could see that he exalted, that he just showed that this is who he is, this is who Abiola Champ is, this is how the Champ is natural. This is how the Champ family, this is what they do. So guys, if you want to get more out of Abiola Champ, if you want to get his book, if you want to follow him, social media handle everywhere is Abiola Champ. Am I right?
Yes, ABIOLACHAMP everywhere. The website is www.abiolachamp.com. On YouTube, subscribe to the channel. There are some amazing videos for you. It's Abiola Champ. On Twitter, Abiola Champ. Instagram, Abiola Champ. Whatever next social media that will be created, Abiola
Champ.
So for our viewers, Abiola Champ, what can you do for those that want to actually register on this mentorship program for our audience? They want something.
Okay, so here's what we will do for this audience. Now, so when you go to the Instagram handle and you go to the profile and you click on it, and there's a place for you to register, right? When you write in your name, put in brackets waiting day.
Talk.
Yeah, sorry.
Triple T.
I apologize for that. Put in bracket talk the talk in bracket. When you're writing your name on the form, put in bracket talk the talk, and we'll be giving you a 20% discount.
Wow! Guys,
you had it, guys.
Only on Triple T do you get these kind of discounts. 20% off. Abiola Champ. Go on the Instagram. Guys, if I was you, I would run and sign up yesterday.
It's not even today.
Not even today. Yesterday. Okay. So
guys, it's amazing.
I'm gonna go sign up now, guys.
Go and sign up. And it's not just for a few weeks, not for a few months. 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
This will be 6 months that will change your life. Guys, remember last week we learned that investing in yourself is, don't expect an investor to invest in you if you haven't invested in yourself. So please invest in yourself, sign up. This is a great course, and if you have taken the nuggets from today alone, then you have 6 months. You're coming up a different person in 2021.
That's exactly what we do on Talk the Talk. Guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, Abiola Champ, to have you on here. We are so thrilled. And we'll definitely get you back again.
Definitely. That's not even, no shadow of a doubt. We'll definitely love to have you back on Triple T.
On Waiting Day Radio, your favorite talk show, every Friday, 7 p.m. guys. We're seeing your comments. Keep it up. We're seeing your comments trickling in, and we are going to go back, look at your comments, and definitely tell you who's coming up next. Every week
we have a new guest, we have new nuggets
special.
So guys, look, don't forget your number one Afro-urban hit station. We are on Waiting Day Radio. We've had Abiola Champ, and we've had your host Mr. Serem, and your co-host Sophisticated Articulator. Guys, it's been wonderful. We are going over our time, so we're going to have to unfortunately say goodnight. So good night, Mr. Abiola.
Good night. It's so nice meeting you, and thank you very much for the platform. And please, people, keep rocking your world like a champion.
Yeah.
Right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.